I'm going to teach you guys today how to make carbonara. It's simple, easy, and very elegant. I have a pot of water already started going for your pasta. And then all you'll need is 5 to 6 pieces of bacon. If you really like bacon, you can add more. I have 3 whole eggs that we're going to separate and just use the yolks. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. You can use whatever brand you want. And then 1 box of pasta. I like the ones with the ridges because it holds in the flavor more, but you can use spaghetti, fettuccine, angel hair, whatever kind of pasta that you would like. So I'm going to turn my pan on medium heat and then cut the bacon. When you're doing the bacon, I would do it probably a little wider than your finger in pieces, because if you go too small, it'll turn out like bacon bits and get way too overcooked and too crunchy, and I don't like that. So I have my 5 pieces of bacon. Always safety first. Hold your knife properly. I like to hold my knife like this, but I also have been cooking professionally for 20 years and just do nice chunks. Just like to separate it because it'll cook evenly in your saute pan. And remember, every time you use a raw ingredient, to wash your hands. Your pan should be hot enough, so just put it in your bacon. If you hear it sizzle, it's hot enough. I like to use a wooden spoon. You could use tongs, but I like to use a wooden spoon. For the pasta water, you want it kind of salty, but not overly salty, because that is what is going to give your pasta flavor. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. To me, that's a tablespoon. But if you guys would like to measure it out, I would do like 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt. I like to use kosher salt for my pasta water and 90% of my cooking. Get this pan ready for when the bacon's ready, because we'll drain all the grease off of the bacon, but we'll leave it in the pan. While all this is cooking, get a bowl and we will separate the egg yolks. I like to just crack it right in my hand and just move it around. They probably make weird contractions for this. I just like to do it by hand. If you get a little bit of the egg white in it, it'll be okay. Cook it until how you like your bacon. Like I said earlier, I like it where it's kind of crispy but not hard. Before, just lightly beat your eggs, because if you just add the eggs to your pasta, it has a chance to start cooking, and you don't want scrambled eggs in your pasta, because the egg yolk is what makes this dish creamy. So I'll take a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. I put it right in the eggs. It'll help it from not overcooking. Just whisk that together. It'll look like a paste, but once we add it to the pasta and stir it all in, it'll be really good. It's really simple. There's different versions from different countries, but this version is from Rome in Italy. There's supposedly a restaurant that was called Carbonara in like the early centuries, and this is one of the dishes that the chef came up with. You could use this as like a main dish. You could use it as a side dish for like chicken parmesan, chicken romano. Maybe in a different video, if I get asked to make another video, I'll teach you guys how to make one of those dishes. The water's almost boiling. If you do it right now, your pasta is going to get kind of soggy. So we'll wait like a minute or two and I think we should be good to go. For cooking pasta, it's normally around 8 to 10 minutes. I like my pasta with a little bit of crunch, but not raw. I think we're good to go. So I'm gonna add the pasta. Stir it around just a little bit. I'll set a timer just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. 8-minute timer. We'll check it in 8 minutes. And when you are making recipes like this, you don't have to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on the best ingredients. With the right techniques, the right flavor combinations, you can make anything taste good with the help of your pantry and your spice cabinet. Once in a while, just stir it. Your pasta, if not, it'll turn into like one big clump, and that will get for uneven cooking. A slotted spoon, a spatula would be the best for this because you want to save the bacon grease in your bottom of your pan. Make sure you always turn it off before you mess with it. When you think it's okay, just pull it because once it cools down, it's going to get more crunchy than what it was in the pan. Like, I think that's perfect for the way I like bacon. And whenever you are cooking, make sure you always clean as you go because you don't want to clean up at the end. You want to enjoy your food. And always try to have everything that you need when you start a recipe. Like you saw, I had everything out, all my pans ready to go, all my utensils. The French term is mise en place, which we use in the restaurant industry, and it means everything you need for your recipe, from your fork, your knife, ingredients, your pans, and we call that mise en place. So we're at the 4-minute mark. You can see how it's still pretty raw. We're gonna keep 1 cup of pasta water. When you're making different sauces with pasta, it's always good to keep a little bit of the pasta water because there is starch in the water from the pasta, and it will help thicken up instead of making a roux out of flour and butter or cornstarch and water. You're using the natural water that's already thickened up from the pasta, so it'll have that flavor in it already instead of trying to add something else to it and might hinder your flavor. If you were using angel hair for this, I would probably only cook your pasta for 4 to 5 minutes. Spaghetti, probably around 6 to 7 or 8. We're using rotini in this one. I'm hoping that the 8 minutes is right because I know it is for me at work, but that's a different type of stove and different heat than what you are using at your house. We have 1.5 minutes left. We'll check the pasta. If you don't have seasoned fingers like I do, put it on a plate. It's almost al dente. Al dente is a term that we use that it's cooked, but it's right below not being cooked. And plus, because we are going to kind of reheat it in a pan, we don't want it already overcooked and then your whole dish is not good. And no one likes soggy pasta. We'll take out our pasta water that we need. You don't have to use it all. Like you can tell here what I was saying. When you put in your water at first, obviously, I hope it's clearer than this, but this is the starch water from the pasta. So we'll just set that to the side. Now we're going to put our bacon grease back on on the stove. We'll do low to medium heat. We're going to take a little bit of our pasta water and put it back in the pan. It's going to look separated because oil and grease is very dangerous to work with, but be very careful. If you have to, have your parents help you. We're going to take our pasta, put it back in. I'm doing it this way because that's what I'm trained to do, but for you guys, just use a spoon. See how most of the liquid evaporated? That's kind of what you want to look for. This sauce is supposed to be creamy, so now I'm going to cut the heat. You just wanted to heat it up so you could get the bacon grease off of your pan to kind of incorporate in your pasta. I'm going to take a little bit of our egg yolk and Parmesan cheese. You want to do a little at a time because you don't want to cook your eggs. Just start stirring it around until it gets creamy and melted. If you notice that it is not melting or incorporating, you can turn your heat back on to really low heat, barely even keeping the pan hot. It might look like your eggs are curdling, but in cooking, but that is your Parmesan cheese that you mix right into it. Now, we'll just take a little taste to see if we need salt. I think it tastes pretty good. Now, we'll add the bacon to it. Bacon always goes last in any dish. You don't want your bacon to really get soggy or anything like that. You want it in there for texture and flavor. So this is your basic dish of carbonara. You can add a little bit of lemon juice in it to give it a little bit more zing. And I would use fresh lemon juice and not bottled lemon juice because the flavor is totally different. I would just serve it up in a bowl. Just like that. And then if you want, you can add a little bit more Parmesan cheese on it. If you like cheese like I do, I would probably add more, but that's just me. Maybe some fresh parsley for some color. But if not, this is really good the way it is. So this is Carbonara by Chuck. Thank you.